Yes, people. Yes, people. We are back again. Back again. Super excited for us to break down the charts. It's Tuesday, the 10th of Feb, and we are getting locked in to just getting locked in essentially. And we are working through price action once again. And I believe, hopefully, if we do things properly and we assess the market with patience, we will achieve the goal for the day. Okay, so let's see what we can get done today, and let's see if we can break this thing down and essentially achieve our goal. So, what are we saying? We're saying we are essentially looking for um, a how can I put this thing? We're looking for a breakdown from the top to the bottom. We want to see price action from the top higher time frame to the lower time frame. Okay, so we are essentially working our way from a bird's eye view, and our expectation is that we will get a true perspective of the market, and we'll get an understanding of how to make a decision today based on a higher time frame perspective. So today is all about context. It's all about understanding how to read the direction of the market, and essentially if we can follow the rules, because trading is all about rule keeping. If we can follow the rules and stay disciplined, we should be able to develop a good bias for the day that will set us up for a potential trade. Now, please understand, we want to um essentially we this is not a guarantee that we will win a trade. This basically sets us up to take a trade. So it's about us recognizing that having a bias doesn't mean you're right. We're dealing with probabilities here. So so essentially what we're trying to do here is um basically get us moving, essentially get us moving, and let's see what we can do from here. Okay, all right, so let us let's get going. Let's see what we can do, and let's see if we can pick up again from where we left off from last week. All right, so first and foremost, the monthly. We're going to start on the monthly. In fact, we're going to start on the 12 monthly. We're going to start on the 12 monthly, and we are going to see what the 12 monthly is telling us. All right, cool. So we can see from 12 monthly time frame. Remember, we're dealing with higher time frame perspectives. We can see from the 12 monthly time frame that price in the month of, well, for since January, price opened up and went bullish. We went bull. We put in a low over here, but we've also put in a high over here. But this high has been after we've taken out the previous 12-month high. So from this high, sellers came into the market. So the market from this low was a great place to buy was from this low, actually. This low would have been brilliant. If you bought from this low and held it for the last 2 months, you would have made it up into this high at least. All right. What we're seeing here now is uh what we're seeing here is, let's just close this for a second. Let me just make sure that I can see what's going on. What we're seeing here is that price from this high has basically hit a ceiling. So we've hit some form of resistance, and sellers have come in to the market. So from a 12-month perspective, we can understand why we may have been selling off, because we had taken liquidity resting above the 12-month high. Now, please understand, liquidity rests above the highs and the lows of each candle, right? No matter what session you're in, underneath and beyond, above and beneath the highs and the lows, you're going to find that liquidity is resting essentially. Okay, so price taken out previous month high, previous 12-month high, that is a liquidity level. And what happens is price tends to turn around at these levels. At these levels, we tend to get a turnaround of some sort. For example, price goes underneath here, and then we eventually turn around. Price goes above here, and we eventually turn around. Price goes above here, and we eventually turn around. So you tend to get price going beneath here, and what does it do? Turns around. So we are anticipating that since we have taken out this high, this particular high over here, that it makes sense if price is going to turn around from here. Okay, so this on the 12-month looks bearish. If we knock it down to the 6-month, we can see sellers came in over here with a bit of selling pressure. What we don't know is, has that selling pressure changed the overall movement of the market? The overall movement of the market was we've been putting in lower lows, but we've since been putting in higher lows. So has the market changed direction overall? So just because sellers have come into the market, is this the sellers pushing the market back that way? Or is this is the sellers coming in, giving the bulls a bit of a breather just for us to continue higher? This is what we're going to conclude. This is what we're going to establish for our directional bias. And ultimately, every day for the New York session, all we are doing is establishing whether price will continue in one direction or go against the current direction that it's in at the moment. So that's what we're doing. And from there, we can then begin to look for potential setups. Okay. So 6-month, 12-month high taken. We go to the monthly now. The monthly looks like, I can see previous month. So January took the high. February continued lower. But guess what? Price has begun pushing back in the opposite direction. So it looks like what's happened here is that price has come in and tapped right into this order block. So here we have. So yes, price did pull back from here. We opened up, tried to go higher. There was no bullish pressure. And then what happened is price then began to push down. Sellers pushed this price down. But guess what we've done? We found support. How do you know? The wick. The wick represents price rejection. Price rejection at that area of support. So price has come into this demand zone, this last red candle, where the buy-in initiated, right? And price has come back to that red candle, and the buy-in has continued. So they didn't press through, they didn't push through the sellers. Rather, they respected this area, this zone, and buyers have come back into the market. So that wick there represents buyers coming back in to the market. Okay. So this on the monthly, for the purpose of the fact that we've got the order block and also the candle formation. If you look at the formation of the candle, we can see that we have an open, high, low, and current price action. Look at that. Although it's a red candle, don't be deceived. You have to look at the characteristics of the candle. We have strong bullishness pushing right through. That indicates to me that the bulls are in the market at this moment in time. Again, we can only assess what we see. There's no guarantee. We can only assess what we see. So for me, the bulls are in the market. All right. So I'm going to put here monthly time frame, right? Although we have taken buy side liquidity, and although the 12 monthly has taken the previous 12-month high and the previous 6-month high, if we narrow that down, we can say, yes, it did take the high, and yes, it was bearish. But as of today, it looks like that we've pulled back into this order block, and price is pushing higher on the monthly. So I have got to say for the monthly that we are potentially bullish. Again, no guarantees, but this is my personal opinion, personal assessment. This is not financial advice. This is just my personal assessment. Let's see what happens. All right, bullish. And I'm going to give my signature. I'm going to say order block respect. And I'm also going to say, that the candle formation, because we can see strong buying coming into the market. So straight away, and this being on the monthly, wow, that's a strong time frame. So I'm hoping that the rest will fall in line, and we will start to see a clear picture as to how we're going to move in today's bias, in today's market. Okay, if we go to the weekly, let's see what the weekly tells us. Okay, so the weekly, perfect. Again, bullish, no doubt about it. I can see it straight away, bullish for today. Why? Because you can see, yes, we had this massive rejection here in January, but as we've come over to Feb, price gave us a bearishness here, right? But that bearishness came right into this FVG. Okay, FVG. And we saw the buyers come back in. This FVG also corresponds with this monthly order block. So the tap into the order block is also the tap into the FVG. So we have FVG tap. All right. And we have, if we go to, I'll use the FVG tap for now. That's the cleanest one, FVG tap. I'll use that for now, and I'll drop to the 2-day to see if we can get something that's formed rather than forming, something that's formed. All right. So we go to the 2-day. Let's look at the 2-day time frame. 2-day. And let's see what we get out of the 2 days. So I like this for the purpose of the FEG tap. So again, that's telling me we've tapped into the FEG and then price has continued higher for this week. Okay, so we go to the 2-day. What do we see? Brilliant. Now this is good. This is interesting because the 2-day shows us that price took liquidity in this FEG, right? But it's also showing us that price is also stopping at this high. So the 2-day kind of throws a little bit of something into the works here. So I mean, what we can see here is that price has respected this level, but we're not exactly breaking through, right? We're not doing that. We're not breaking through. Why? Someone might go, why? Because we have a supply zone right here. So what we're saying is that at this moment in time, yes, we saw the buyers come in on Friday and Monday. Look at strong buying, but Monday and Tuesday has not necessarily given us that same picture. We're kind of stuck in the middle somewhere. All right. So I would say, what would I say? Very interesting. How would I put this? The 2-day, I would say there's nothing to say. I would say come back and check, because it's not necessarily giving me anything. And I'm not forced to have to say something. So because of that, I'm going to come back and check. Maybe the daily might give me a better picture. Let's see, let's go to the daily. And the daily, okay, at least we can get something out of daily. So I'm going to come back and check on the 2-day, or maybe not. If the weekly is giving me the FEG tap, maybe I don't need to overcomplicate it, and I'll leave the 2-day out. All right, no need to overcomplicate it. Daily, all right, daily is telling me that potentially what we have here is a liquidity sweep in this FEG over here, and we have a nice swing low. So price, again, all I'm doing is putting together a bias. I'm trying to explain my thought process in terms of how I think price could be moving today, right? Daily time frame, swing low, FEG, liquidity sweeping in the FEG, and price has continued higher the day before. Will we see a continuation? I don't think we can see that right now. What we are seeing is that price is not getting through this supply zone. So price is in this supply zone. We're not necessarily pushing through it yet. We've closed in it. Will we see price move higher? At the moment, I'm of the mindset that structurally, we could be looking at price going higher, right? And because we've got this swing low, because we had the liquidity sweep into this FVG over here, I'm of the mindset that price could be going higher, and therefore potential. There's no guarantees, or potential. All right. So price could easily do this. We don't know. I'm just trying to go off what we can see. And at the moment, being in this supply zone, we're not breaking through. We've rather opened up. If we look at the candle formation, we've rather opened up and respected the previous day high. So previous day high, prices refused to go beyond it. All right. So if you look at the formation, we opened, we've created a high, in this case, a lower high, and prices traded lower. So from a daily perspective, a monthly perspective, think about what we're saying here. We've traded lower, we've hit support, but from that support, we've pushed up, but we haven't, from today, we have not continued. We have not continued from today. Okay. So today looks like at the moment that we've hit some level of resistance in this supply zone. And therefore, we can see from the formation of the candle, the price has gone in and put in a lower high. So the question I have today for a New York trader is, will price bottom out and continue higher? Or is price telling us that this high over here is a ceiling that it's hit and we are ready to trade lower? Okay. So the signatures today on GBPUSD is not the very best, I would say. If you go back to the monthly, strong bullishness, it shows a strong bullishness. Go to the weekly, we see that respect, but we see also from the weekly, guys, we can also see that the sellers are coming back in. We can see that even from this area on the weekly, let's not rush this. Let's take our time and make sure we make the right decision here. You can see even from the weekly that we are getting some form of selling pressure coming back into the market. Now, would that shock us? No, because we have a whole weekly supply zone here, right? And we have an engulfing pattern to the downside. So yes, we hit support. Buyers came in, buyers pushed, but we are not pushing higher. And for me, if remember, we've taken buy side liquidity here. This is huge. Buy side liquidity taken. So price has taken liquidity to the upside. There's every bit of potential that price could continue trading lower, at least back further into this demand zone. So I'm not going to just shoot up with the ball. Actually, I'm going to reassess this. I'm going to say yes, bullish, but weekly. I'm going to say bullish candle. Let's go back here. Let's go bullish candle, but bullish candle, but price is being held up at supply zone. Okay, with selling pressure coming into the market. Okay, all right. So that's all. I'm just going based on what I can see. Bullish candle, but selling pressure coming into the market at this supply zone, and we are pushing down. And let's not also forget, right? And it's resistance at engulfing candle, bearish engulfing candle. So that's a signature. So basically, we're not just saying, oh, we're bullish because we see a bullish candle. We have to make sense of what's happening at this wick as well. Is this wick an indication that price actually wants to go bearish for New York? So maybe we've been bullish for the London session. But New York traders, we don't necessarily trade exactly the same way London traders trade. London may be bullish and New York may be bearish for the day. Again, it's all about understanding what's happening for each session. Okay, so I want to pay attention to both the bull and the bear. So we go back to the daily now. It's making me analyze this and say, all right, cool. Will we? The question at the daily is overall. I'm going to say bullish overall. However, will we break past supply? Because we're stuck. We have to acknowledge that price is in the supply zone, right? We can see, what I can see is that price is respecting this order block. So I'm going to put that in there. Price rejecting off demand zone, but not yet taken or broken past previous day high. So we haven't been able to break through. So this is what I'm trying to get you guys to see here, right? There's been no breakthrough. This is a very tricky chart today, I think. We haven't necessarily broken through and continued. So for me, it's tricky. We got to just be very focused here. All right. So I'm looking at that and I'm saying, yeah, it doesn't look like we have gone through either previous day high or previous day low. Okay. So what have I put here? After bullish overall, in terms of the overall context of the market right now, in these last few days, we create a swing high, swing low, come into supply. All right. But we are in the supply. So will we break past supply? We don't know. So I've got to put a question mark there. Just trying to find out. All I'm trying to do is piece together what's going on in the market today. Price is rejecting off demand zone, but not yet fully broken. All right, cool. Let's go to the 4 hour or even the 12 hour because we probably need some more information on this. I love the 12 hour. Okay, good. What do we have on the 12 hour, guys? All right. So when it's not clear on higher time frame, keep knocking it down and keep seeing what information we can get. Again, I would say bullish because 12 hour tapped in bullish, tapped into 12 hour FEG. Okay, 12 hour FEG. So I couldn't see much on the question is, are we going to continue higher? have we been able to continue higher? Okay. Have we been able to continue higher? Let me just pause just for a second, guys. See. Um, let's see where we are. Okay, cool. Have we been able to continue higher? I think the key here is that the 12 hours, the key here. The 12-hour is the focus. The 12-hour is the I think that it enables us to kind of see a bit more, because the monthly, the weekly, daily kind of murky. But this tells me straight away, whilst we're in this supply zone on the daily, this tells this wick rejection here into this order block, massive on the daily, absolutely massive. All right. But then this 12-hour is also massive. Why? Because this 12-hour shows me that price is still finding support to go higher right there. Woo, love that. I absolutely love it. So yes, we are in supply. Definitely, yes, we are in supply, right? But I'm liking this. Yeah, for sure. No worries, no worries, Francis. This is definitely a tough market. But I think if we break it down slowly, I think we get there, right? So although we are in supply, I'm going to remove the supply box because price is telling me that we're still swinging. I like the idea that price is still going higher. Okay. So the 12-hour FVG tapped into that FVG gives me confidence that although we came into this supply zone, price tapped it, but hasn't been able to break. And since you haven't been able to break, I'm going to maintain the current flow of the market. Now, if you zoom out on the daily time frame, you will also see the flow of the market. Price has gone from this higher low to higher high, higher low. Brilliant. So from this higher low, if price wanted to maintain this lower high, I would have expected price to break through. I want to see strong breaks, and it hasn't done that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to maintain the higher low, and therefore potential price looking to go higher high. We don't know for sure yet. We're just trying to piece it together. Okay. So I like the idea of what we're seeing here on the 12-hour. That gives me good confidence to go higher. All right. So let's go to the 4-hour. All right, let's move to the 4-hour. So we're piecing it together. At the moment, I'm weighing more to the bulls, right? I'm not going to go against the trend. I'm going to continue to trade with the trend. All right. So at the moment, I'm with the bulls. Price looks to be going higher. Look at that. Look at that. I like the idea of what price is doing. So now, on the 4-hour, what can I see? Can I see anything per se on the 4-hour? Apart from the fact that we've pulled back, but then we've taken liquidity into this 12-hour, I can't really see much on the 4-hour. What I'd probably want to see in the next hour, 38 minutes, is for this green candle here to completely engulf this red candle. Because if it does that, it gives me a reason to want to look higher. All right. That will be a good signal to go higher. Maybe the 3-hour, though. Maybe 3-hour. Okay. Even the 3-hour hasn't really given me anything per se. I just see that liquidity sweep, maybe. So the 4-hour liquidity sweep, the 3-hour liquidity sweep is good. But what I do want to see between the 4 and the 3-hour, I want to see in the next 37 minutes on the 3-hour, give me an engulfing candle, engulf this red candle over here. That will be a fantastic signature to suggest that price may want to go higher, right? That will be good. That will be a good signature. So I'll be waiting to see how price moves from there. All right. So how are we looking? So this looks good at the moment. If we get the close, so I'm going to remove this. Let's take everything out. If we get the close above here, above this red candle, we close above this red candle. That's a signature for me to suggest we're going higher. All right. So what I'm going to do here, I can find my did I lose it? Oh Lord, I've lost it. I'm gonna have to go back because I lost my notes. All right, there we go. 4-hour. So I don't think the 4-hour. What I'm going to say is 4 and 3. What I'm going to put here is, if price, if we close above last red candle, then holding a bullish bias. That's all. Listen, we can be right, we can be wrong. The fact of the matter is we're dealing with probabilities here. Can we move the needle? Can we get closer to a right trade, a correct move? Okay. So let's go to the 1 hour. So for now, my perspective on this market as we speak, for now, is to hold a bullish bias. Let me see if I can copy this. All right, copied. All right, let's delete everything. Perfect. All right, so for now, I'm holding bullish bias. No guarantees. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. All right. Let me see if I'm losing my notes all over the place. There we are. Perfect. All right, bring this back. Lovely. Bullish bias. And I tell you what, holding a bullish bias is not a bad thing. Why? Because the monthly is holding a bullish bias. The monthly, the higher the time frame, the stronger the signal. The monthly is suggesting buyers are strong. So the idea of even going against that is crazy, right? The monthly is telling me that buyers are strong. Yes, indeed, 130 news, that could absolutely change everything. But for now, technically speaking, the monthly is already telling me we're bullish. So the idea that I'm going to go against the monthly, yes, I see a little bit of selling, but that doesn't change the fact that we've come from strong selling from here. Look at the selling that we've come from. Sorry, strong buying. Look at the strong buying we've come from. Boom. The buying from last week, the buying from this week started last week. We've been buying from this level. Price opened up with a little gap down and we've continued buying. So yes, we're getting a little bit of selling, but it's not enough. It's not enough to convince me. Look at the trend. Look at the trend, guys. If you zoom out, you can see the trend. It's not enough to convince us that we need to go against the market trend. The market trend is very, very, very clear, and you can see that we are going higher in the market. So what do? The trend is your friend. Keep going with the trend. Keep going. So for me personally, I'm looking at this as a bull. So let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Let's see what's happening. All right, cool. What can I see as we round up and we come to a conclusion as to what I think price may be doing here? All right, so interesting. Let's go back to daily real quickly. All right, so that's our daily range here. All right, cool. So what are we looking at? News could change everything. News could change everything. So here's my thought process, right? If we are bearish, I'll tell you what, if we are bearish, if we're bullish, if we are to be bullish, then I want to see, go back to the 4 hour, I want to see price again give us a close above this red candle. So remember, there's no guarantee here. We're going with if statements. We need to come to a conclusion of what price could do. I want to see price close above this red candle, but I also want to see price maybe break above previous day high so we can go higher. Okay. And on the 1 hour time frame, what do I want to see? I want to see price. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Okay. I want to see price essentially bullish. If we're to be bearish, if we're to be bullish, I want to see price push a bit higher. Give me a strong, when the news comes through, I want to see price break through. Give me a strong indication that we're going higher. And when price comes back, I would look to go higher with it. If price is to be bearish, then I would expect after the news, price will probably go that way. And if it does go that way, you still got to be careful because there's an order block here. Price could still go. So for me, I think the safest bet at the moment, watch this, after all of this, the safest bet, stay out of the market. Why? Someone goes, why? Because even from the look of our assessment, right, the market doesn't look ready. It doesn't feel ready. It doesn't look ready. I don't feel like the market is ready. I don't feel like we have a conclusive picture of what's going on in the market. And so for me, after the news, I think the best bet right now today is to chill. I honestly think the best bet, in conclusion, I will wait until the price shows its hand. We don't know at this point in time whether price will respect this supply zone and continue retracing, or whether the news will push it higher and continue going higher. So from that perspective, right, I think we need to wait. Although we see buyers in the market, we don't know if they're going to push higher. Although we see sellers in the market, we don't know if that's going to move that way. So in moments like this, take a chill pill, relax. There's the secret. There's the secret answer. Relax, take it easy, make no decision. Don't give the market your money. Relax. There is no move today for now, for me. Now watch this. No trade is a trade. No trade is a trade. There is no answer to give. We are trading by not trading. Wait for the news and let's see what happens. The technical side of things for me looks a little bit murky. I think even as you follow this, obviously the bulls, I'll still say the market between here and here is bullish, but does that mean we're getting above this level? I don't know. So because of that, let's wait, right? You might be thinking, man, I want to get an answer. That's your answer. Let's wait. Relax, chill. The market hasn't done enough to give us a technical position, in my opinion, and therefore we're open to market going that way, possibly going back that way. We don't know. And because of that, we can relax and we can take it easy. You know, learning to pause and say, do you know what? I don't have to trade is just as good as knowing how and when to trade, pressing the button. The thrill that we get from pressing the button should be equal to the thrill we get from saying not today. That's the difference. If you can turn around and say not today and walk away, that's when trading really becomes an exciting thing, because it's not controlling you. When it controls you, then you are subject to it, and therefore it will toss you to and fro in a way you don't want to be tossed to and fro. You know, so at the moment, for me, chill. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. We've pulled back. As you can see, we've got to this high and we've pulled back, right? We don't know if price is going to go that way. Now, price potentially could go that way. It could go the other way. We don't know. So I think we got to just be comfortable with saying, you know what, actually, it's not clear at the moment. And I think that's fair. I think that's fair. And we looked at it on the 2-day, remember, and we couldn't really see. Look, 2-day put in a lower high over here. And then a lower high didn't necessarily produce a break of structure. So we've put in a lower high over here from the next day, but we haven't necessarily broken structure. There's an order block here, right? There's a lot of buy-in defense, So price could pull back and then we go higher. So the overall picture of the market, guys, let me just conclude on the overall picture at least. The overall picture of the market is still bullish because price hasn't done enough to say bearish. So the overall picture of the market, bullish. But we're not ready to buy it because the market, for me anyway, because the market's not set up for we haven't got a setup. But the overall picture of the market is bullish still, because we don't have enough to suggest that price is just going to power through. There's all of this defense. There's a lot of defense, and price will need to break through that defense in order to convince me we're going higher. So because of that, I remain a bull in the market, but I am not ready to trade this market. I hope that makes sense. I remain a bull in this market, but I am not ready to trade this market. Right? Bullish is my overall contextual understanding of the market, but I'm not ready to trade. Bullish because of how we've been moving. I recognize that we're at a resistance zone, but unless price shows me I'm going to maintain where we're going with the overall zoomed out picture that price has been trading higher anyway. So will we finally get through? We'll see. Maybe come 2 o'clock after the news, we'll have a much stronger position and we'll be able to know what to do from there. But for now, I'm going to remain overall bull with no setup. So I'm not pressing any button. I'm also subject to price changing. I recognize that price could, if it wants, decide to stop and actually start breaking through. So I'm just going to hold the trend for now. Let's see what happens after the news. We could go that way. We could go that way. And I think it just basically needs a reassessment after the news. And when we get that, I think we'll know exactly how to move. So guys, no trade for now, no idea, no general conclusion for me. We'll see what happens after the news around 2. All right. And maybe this will be a good lesson for us to know when to say, okay, actually nothing's clear. So let's just chill. Let's wait. Right. Let the market come to you. Let price action come to you. At the moment, we're kind of stuck. Right. We're not really going anywhere, consolidating in a way, kind of pulling back, coming moving up and downs kind of sort of thing. So let's be patient. Let's see what happens, and we'll take it from there. Lovely. Maybe tomorrow we'll do a review, and then we'll check today's session against the results, and let's see what we can learn from the session. All right, guys, blessings. Have a good one. See you in the next stream. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Blessings.